That is true. Well, I'm going live now, man. You're more than welcome to join me on my panel here, and um, well, you caught my attention because like I say, you're more on that national landscape that my channel's about. So, you're more than welcome to jump on in anytime. All right. Yeah, I got it. I got it on right now. But happy birthday, brother, man. How do I? Now I got to do the invite thing. Copy to clipboard. Paste. Okay. All right. Sounds good, bro. All right. All right. Sounds good, buddy. We'll see you. All right. Later, bro.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, right on. Okay, perfect.
I got you.
Okay. Yeah, I just, I mean, I know I'm amped and shit because I almost literally got in a fight with a guy out in a fucking parking lot, but still, it's like, Jesus Christ, man, I can't fucking hold back anymore. I gotta fucking start calling it as I see it because, and I need an outlet for that. I mean, I need to be able to reach out to people and fucking start, explaining
right
what I'm seeing here, because I know I'm not the only one that's fucking aware as to what's happening. Obviously, I mean, you guys
are well aware
of it too.
We trust me, I definitely see it. I mean, as tin hat as it is, and that's what people look at my conversation is like. I mean, even my brother, I love my brother, but the thing is a lot of people look at this stuff as tin hat theory stuff, and
yeah, well, I guess there's no way I can convince them, how real it really is. I mean, I've seen the shit with my own eyes, so maybe that's why, to me, I understand. But I have to remind myself that the average person has not seen it with their own eyes. They haven't seen the inner workings of Uncle Sam and their bullshit, And I guess that's probably why they just don't get it, because the only thing they know is what they're spoon fed through the media. And that's the only truth that they will ever know.
It's mind control. It's mind control, and they've done that through the media day in, and they do it day in and day out. And that's just kind of what it is. Is I don't sign up for that. I don't sign up for that crap, and I don't partake in that kind of conversation. And to be honest with you, I was a Trump supporter at one time.
Yep, I know. Me too.
And the problem was. When he said he was going to deploy a military to vaccinate America, hey, how you doing, 5-Speed?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm loving
that's the conversation. When he said when Donald Trump stood before his supporters and just blatantly said, we're going to deploy the military to administer the vaccine. That is the moment he lost my support.
Yeah. And that's when I fucking knew that he was just a pawn, because that is that is a direct violation of the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You see, that was a lot of what the American Revolution was fought about, was that we had to house British soldiers. I mean, our military is not supposed to be walking around forcing anything. I mean, not even the police are supposed to force that kind of shit.
American soil.
No, that's why our military installations are separate installations. They don't house troops in civilian populace. So you
Can I,
use the military to go around and start cramming shit. That's absolutely against the Bill of Rights. What's up?
I think FTP brother, your name's David.
What's that?
Huh?
Is your name David?
Yeah,
Can I touch on that a little bit?
sure.
What you
What's
said
up?
with Trump, and I agree with you 100%. And I've been down these rabbit holes too. I'm no fool, and I know you're not. And just another way to maybe that I have kind of looked at it, because I kind of questioned all of that myself. I don't want to be a walking GMO like they've done a lot of the offspring that's come up in this country in the last 20 years with the vaccinations. But could it be that the military's coming in, him playing along with their game, muzzling up and having to get this vaccine, but that military is not actually going to vaccinate the people? It is going to exterminate these treasonous, no good, dirty, rotten scumbags?
I would hope so.
See, that's where
I
I'm
don't.
at.
I don't necessarily. I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the case. But
Neither one of us really know, right? But it could be,
it could be. It definitely.
just
It definitely could be.
as well as
It
it
could
could
be
be
that.
what you're talking about as well.
I think.
But I think
Like
the thing
it's.
that I stand on more than anything is the 80 million people that come out to vote. You piss them off, there's going to be some shit.
Well, I think.
You
As
piss
far
off
as
those
Donald
80
Trump
million
goes,
people.
I think Donald Trump has the control of the military.
He does. I think so.
That the military side on patriot and constitutional values.
Right.
But at the same time, the way it's being stated with his vaccine rollout, he lost me as a supporter just by the way he said it. And
well, I can
tin
see
hat
that.
theory or not, I'm not a masked person. I don't walk around with the mask. And if they want to target me because I'm a nonconformist and don't wear a mask or won't take their vaccine or whatever it is and won't partake in their bullshit, then
Right.
so be it.
Because you know a lot of these governors and all of these election people, they've committed some very serious crimes on election fraud.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
So is that military about to round up all these bad actors, all these district court judges throughout the United States of America?
I hope
all
so.
these corrupt, no good son of a bitches that are violating our rights. I just try to look for the positive in people and the positive in things. You know what I mean?
It's like I told FTP, man, when it does happen, when all of this stuff happens, we're not going to have a place to hide. It isn't going to matter how prepared you are or unprepared you are or anything of that nature. When it does happen, it's just going to happen. Yep. There's nothing we can do as patriots. There's nothing we can do except to see what happens.
Right. Because, see, I think Steely Dan here is kind of onto something in his research when he talked about that bloodline, because that's what these no good treasonous dirty rats want to control, is that bloodline. And it goes all the way back to the Vatican. We've really never we've never you follow the money, my friend, it goes all the way back to the Vatican.
Yes, sir. And that's also and that leads back to the reasons for the Crusades. I mean, the real reasons for the Crusades and all that other shit too. It goes all the way back to that and even before. So
the Vatican owns every birth certificate out there. They think they own all of us, but some of us they do not own, because we're awake.
Yeah. The second you are born, the second you're born, you're given that slave number, that Social Security number, and you can't do shit in your life without that SSN, and that's should be the biggest indicator to people right there. But nobody makes the connection.
See, instead of us ministering to trust, these public officials are administering that trust for their own will. Because there's no money. House Resolution 192, there's no money. It's units and credits. It's zero.
Exactly.
It's digits on a ledger board at the end of the day.
Yep. So we're working for thin air. That's, I mean, we all get up, we go, I've oftentimes watched this. I watch people racing to work, racing home from work. What the fuck are we all racing around for? Like chickens with our heads cut off. I mean, everything that we're working for isn't amounting to shit. I mean, we're not
half
gaining
of your energy.
right. And you're not even making real money.
Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're controlling your energy. They're controlling your movement. They're controlling every aspect of people's lives. And it has to stop. It has to stop.
I know. And that's the shitty part about it is I don't want to see it get violent, man, but fuck.
Me either.
Dude,
that's why I give
I'm
my perspective on the vaccines, with the military, because I hope we don't, but Lord help them if we do. You see what I mean?
I know. Man, I don't know. I got my guns and my bullets and all that shit, and I'm ready if somebody tries to come through my front door. But if I'm out,
a cat backs a mouse into a corner. He's got no option but to do what? They'll bring it on themselves if it does happen. But
right.
The problem is they've made everybody think that your neighbors and the people of society are your enemies when it's them that your enemies.
It's just like, yeah, I just had an altercation with a guy at the fucking grocery store today. Some guy claimed he was a doctor. Yeah, some guy, and that's why I got on this live stream. I need to like vent the shit off to show people that even in the little small town that I live in out here in South Dakota, this shit is happening, and everybody thinks, oh, it's not going to happen here. No, it's happening everywhere, and no place is exempt from this shit. I mean, granted, when the guy got out of his car, the first thing I thought of, what if we were both armed? I mean, shit, that could get real ugly real quick. You know what I mean? And at the end of it, it just turned out to be verbal. But we drew a fucking crowd. We were yelling at each other in the fucking middle of the parking lot. And I tried telling the guy, I'm like, look at what we're doing right now. This is exactly what the fucking powers that be want us to do. What do you mean, Trump and his ilk? And I said, no, it goes way above them. Way the hell above them.
See, that guy that had a problem with you, see, he's the problem because he enforced his will upon you.
Exactly.
He's the problem. He's the damn problem.
I know.
That gaslighting shit, it ain't working no more for the guys that are awake.
Nope, he tried to claim he was a doctor too, and I said, I don't give a fuck if you're a doctor. If you were that smart,
you would know. You ain't my doctor.
And if you were that smart and that educated as a doctor, then you would know to think with your own goddamn brain and not just buy everything that's freaking handed to you on a fucking spoon. It's like,
well, Steely Dan, if he was a professional doctor, he still wouldn't be practicing medicine, would he?
Right. Exactly.
See how twisted shit is backwards? They're practicing law, they're practicing medicine, we're all guinea pigs, and they ain't experts about nothing.
No.
But these practicers, these people that are practicing, comes into a courthouse and are considered experts. And they've been practicing for 40 years. Never perfected it.
Nope.
Never done anything good except take a bunch of your damn energy. Chasing those Federal Reserve notes.
Yep. That's you ever notice how doctors don't ever want to get down to the bottom of what's wrong with you? They just treat your symptoms. You end up, you go home with piles of pills, and your problems never go away. So
they changed that law. They changed it. They made that law that only a drug can treat a disease, and now that's why everything is a disease today, and no homeopathics or anything like that.
Right.
Because you can't get into pharmaceutical in the healthcare industry's profits. Well, I thought in Jeremiah 1:5 that you were ordained and a prophet unto the nation as a man, not as a corporation. Look at how these words are all fucked up.
What do you mean? What words are fucked up?
How they've misled a lot of these interpretations.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is how we're gonna do this. If anything is gonna be able to be done. I mean, I don't know if sitting on a live stream on YouTube is gonna raise awareness to the public, or I don't know what the hell we got to do, man. But Jesus, I mean,
Look. Here's what I can help you with. If you're not ready at this point, if you're not stockpiling at this point, if you're not stockpiling everything you can possibly think of to last for a year or two, that's what you should be doing right now. Or in general, just the long-term goal of a year or 2 years or 3 years, and think about how long this is going to go on for, and this fighting is going to go on for. So when you go out to the parking lot, the bare minimum you should have in your pocket is a blade.
Oh yeah.
If you're being smart, you might, if you're ex military, then you carry what you carry, and that's the purpose of Second Amendment. And when the fight starts, you might as well just stand back and just wait, because once you feel threatened, or you watch his hands, and that's it. It's there's no more talking.
I know.
It's done. It's middle of the street. It's going down. Now, do you want to live and be there for your family, or do you want to let somebody else cut you down and live less than and not be? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yep. I had to kill the camera. I was getting tired of holding the phone up to my face. But yeah, I get your point. That was the thing too, that like when the guy confronted me, the first thing that went through my mind is, does he have a weapon? Because I sure as fuck didn't have anything on me, which I should know better. I mean, especially, with having a kid and all that. I mean, it's like I'm the first line of defense if some dumbass wants to shoot me over a fucking mask or something. You know what I mean? And my wife, she carries a knife. She's got a knife in her purse, a knife in the fucking car. I mean, I want to get her a firearm, but she's just not trained, to have one. I mean, you
can't accept that no more.
I know that. I know.
Status quo. You need to take them down to the firing range, and you have to buy them something that fits them, for them.
I know.
And that's taking care of you and yours, and if she really can't and she really don't want to, I mean, that's fine. But I guarantee you they'll pick it up when it all goes down and when it all goes bad. And I guarantee you, if you're out of the car and she's in the car, let me tell you, I hope that she's of mind and she knows what you expect of her, and you coordinate that with her. When you leave and come back to the car, shit's status quo and everything's fine. And if not, then I guess the chips lie where they lie, and people are going to go where they go. But as long as you come out on top, I think that's what's going to matter. And no, you're not going to come out on top against a whole force.
No,
right?
no.
So what we're going to have is little pingy games going back and forth in the parking lots. And why? Over a roll of toilet paper is what it's going to be. Over a roll of meat. That's what it's going to be about.
Well, when we had a kind of a crowd gathered around us. Now, I don't know what the rules are in Sioux Falls. I heard that something about you can get fined now in Sioux Falls because of Ten Haken. And if you're not wearing a mask or something in Sioux Falls in a business or something, I don't know the validity behind that. But I mean, I don't live in Sioux Falls, so I don't know. I just running into town to go shopping and shit. But
I don't think there's a law that can force you to wear a mask, my friend.
I
know there's not.
I know, but I also know that Sioux Falls is corrupt, and so is the police department. And I don't know if they could drag you downtown and fine you and all that bullshit. And I mean, could they make it so fighting it is so difficult that you just end up caving and paying the fine? Or I don't even know how it all works. I mean, but yeah, no, I know that they can't force you to wear a fucking piece of cloth over your face. I mean, but either way, I mean, there were people standing around in the crowd when I was going back and forth with this fucking idiot. And then he finally decided to get into his car and leave. And when he left, I turned and looked at everybody and I yelled out as loud as I could. I'm like, see, this is exactly what they want with our fucking society. And a bunch of people agreed with me and a bunch of other people just walked away. So it's like, yeah, so what? I just made a damn scene, but dude, this shit's hitting home now. I mean, that's probably my first real altercation with somebody over a mask, and I haven't been wearing a mask this whole fucking time. I mean, shit's getting fucking spooky out there, boys. I mean, real spooky.
Yeah.
But anyway, goddamn.
It gets your blood boiling, and that's why you come on panel and you release. There's that release after the cop watch. That's why I always did the panels. Was just to release.
Well, I bet you guys get a hell of a rush going out there and filming the cops and shit. I mean actually confronting them bastards for, I mean, I'm sure it's a hell of a rush. I personally have not been out there. I do want to do some audits and all that, and I maybe probably wouldn't go to the level of like, what Bow does or whatever, but I mean, but these guys do need to be kept in check, and there is nothing wrong with filming a public servant in the commission of their public duties.
But we're past that.
We are.
I know. We're in the parking lot duking it out. Like what?
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with the camera. Drop the fucking camera.
Right.
Pull your shit out and let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's time to go.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Men versus little boys, and who's gonna win? Big versus little. It's gonna be horrible. And it's gonna be slaughterhouse. It isn't gonna be good. And what you've seen going on, in the public system, now it's gonna spread into the parking lots and out into the suburbs. And where's it at? Middle America. It's right here.
It's right here. It just happened to me. Yeah, and I just tried to tell everybody that we're fucking standing around watching. I'm like, this is where we're going. This is the world that we live in now. I mean, dude, if that isn't a fucking wake-up call for the people who were standing around watching it, I hope those people that witnessed all that witnessed me arguing with that fucking guy, I hope they went home and they told their families about it and started talking about it, because it needs to be fucking being brought up in everybody's households right now.
Yeah, well, we might as well just start handing out cards to everybody about what to do and where to go, and when you want to talk about it. When it starts happening to you, come on over and just hand out your business cards of whatever your channel and channel name is. That's something I haven't done yet, was made business cards, but it eventually people start getting intrigued and going, what's going on here, and what do we do? And they get to their next level. But the problem is if you're not already at level 100, you just weren't ready to begin with. And especially if you're not here, because it's a small population. It's not like New York where everybody just arms up.
Right. This is a small town to me. I mean, shit, Brandon's even smaller. I mean, I grew up like west of the Twin Cities, so I mean, Twin Cities is like 3.5 million or more, and out here this is a fucking spit town. So, but it's still happening.
Where did you go, dude?
Oh, I'm right here.
No, not you.
Oh,
the revolution will be televised.
Who, me?
Well, and 5-speed. I don't know. I was thinking, where did the host go? I'm like,
I don't know. I think he just kind of shut his mic off and cam off for a little bit.
What did he say? He said something, but
well, I don't know. I think we were in a heated discussion when he bombed out, so I'm not sure.
All right. Don't be patient. All right, go ahead, 5-speed.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the big thing with me here is, I'm not from the area. I don't know a damn soul around here. I don't talk to my neighbors. I mean, people really just kind of keep to themselves, and I can tell that everyone's scared. Everyone's paranoid. I mean, shit. I go walking down the street, just going for a walk, just down here where, by my house. and people walk by me. It's like they go out of their way to avoid me. And it's like, Jesus, people are just scared. They look at me. I can see the fear in their goddamn eyeballs. It's like, I live next
Do you
to these
see what I'm
people.
saying? They made you public enemy number one. Is that how it feels?
Yeah, it's like, well, it's kind of like in the movie Tombstone. You've seen that movie where he goes, I walk down the street and it's like everyone's slapping me in the face. Yeah, that's how I feel.
You're the
It's like
pariah. And I hate to say this. Now you're the disabled one. You're the ugly one. You're the one with. So it's like you're being shamed. Is really what it amounts to.
Yep. But even if we are outside, and I kind of noticed this paranoia amongst society for a long time, even before the mask. But even if I walk by somebody else without a mask, I mean, there is no, acknowledgement of that person. There's no smile. There's no hello. How's your day? Your traditional like neighborly things that you would do with somebody that you walk by in your neighborhood. It's just complete fear. They like put their head down. They avoid you. They go around you. It's like, holy shit. I can feel everyone's tension. I can see everyone's fear in their eyes. I mean, literally, I can smell the fear coming off of people, like when I'm out and about. It almost makes me not even want to go out. I don't even like to go fucking shopping anymore.
I don't either. I find any reason
depressing.
why not to, and I always order pre-ahead. Go ahead, 5C.
No, I said it's depressing when you feel all of that, when you see all of that all the time. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to be around these people.
Nope. No, this is a long shot from when I was a kid. I mean, and even like when I was talking to my dad last night about this stuff, and he goes, geez, he's like, when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, he goes, people would talk to you, they would acknowledge you, they would, wouldn't be afraid to, like, that interpersonal communication was alive and well, and it was very easy to meet people. Nowadays, it's like meeting somebody is like pulling teeth. You just can't do it. And if it's not on Facebook, it don't happen.
Yeah, and well, they did all of that too by eliminating civics in school and shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, this has been a well perpetrated, played out plan for many, many decades. These people have had control for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Man, I just don't.
We were asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
We run this ship aboard, and they've captured us.
Yes, sir. That's exactly how it's going, and I'm trying to pinpoint like an exact, and I don't think there is an exact point in our history. I think it was just so gradual that it happened over the generations.
That, and it really sunk in 33 with the whole Reconstruction. You know what I mean? Bankruptcy. Because that's all that these administrative courts and your district courts, the low-level courts, are doing to this day. They're administering that bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing. I had a judge threaten to give me 3 hots in a cot because I asked her what was her proprietary interest in someone else's intellectual property of the Federal Reserve notes.
Mm-hmm.
You say that nobody really understands it because, the whole world is run on commerce. It's all contracts.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. That left foot in front of the right foot to walk safely is a contract between that muscular contract between. You see what I'm saying? Because if not, what?
I see.
Boom, you fall flat on your damn face.
Right. Right. And too, I guess.
And those contracts must be in goodwill.
You notice how also another strong indicator that we're not a free society like everybody claims is the fact that there's signs everywhere. There's signs all over the place. Do this, don't do that, walk this speed, watch, that. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like, I get this a lot from people where they'll say like, well, if you got nothing to hide, and you just comply and all this other shit. Well, I mean, that's the point. There's so many damn laws on the books. We're all basically criminals just waiting to go to jail. Million. I mean, yeah.
Something like 8 million of them. But here to touch on that signage you were speaking of. See, there is a reason to have that signage, and that signage doesn't pertain to us, the American man or woman, the living man or woman. See, those signs pertain to, let's just say, we had valuable medical supplies that we needed to get from New York to California. We have to make sure that all that equipment is up and running in that commercial world, that interstate commerce, or transportation and logistics of the American people's business. So whoever's in them must follow those guidelines, right? Because it's the American people's products that are being shipped there. That ain't just a product; it is a necessity.
Right.
And we should control all of that, which we don't control that anymore because all the corporations control it now, because it's all been subbed out to these foreign agencies. And look at the voting fraud. We had somebody in another country doing the counts. Are you effing kidding me? We had another country. Our votes were being calculated from another country, folks. Well, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, as far as voter fraud goes too, I mean, you know that I don't know if you heard that supposedly 130,000 mail-in votes were randomly shit out of Michigan, and nobody could verify their authenticity, but they counted. Like, I mean, it just, and everybody wonders why. Everybody wonders why no one wants to go out and vote, because people literally have come to the point where they don't feel like they have a damn say anymore because of that fraud.
See, Joe Biden was supposed to have got 80 million votes, right? But he can't get 1,000 people on a live feed.
Nope. Right.
When's the people going to wake up, Steely Dan?
I know.
When are they going to stop with all the craziness that you can't think straight and start to focus on the real issues?
Well, that's right. That's what I was trying. Like I was standing out in the middle of the goddamn parking lot yelling to crowds of people. And I'm sure they thought, half of them thought I was a madman, but I know that I reached out to some of them because there were a couple of the old timers standing there were like, hell yeah, yep, you're right, you know, and they were cheering me on and shit. It's like I don't like to stand out there and yell at people, but fuck, man, I'm trying to voice what other people are thinking, and I know I'm not
80
alone.
million votes and can't get 1,000 people on the live feed, and under 1,000 that he did get, probably a shit ton of those were Trump supporters, blasting them. But people don't pick up on those things.
They don't make the connection.
A man that gets 80,000 votes, if he goes live, there's going to be 30, 40,000 people on there. That freaking fault board's going to be flying.
Well, exactly. If he has that legit support, yeah, you're absolutely right. There would be way more than 1,000.
Yes.
But people, for whatever reason, I mean, listen, man, I have lost my entire extended family over my feelings because they are part of that majority that just doesn't make the connection. And so I've been ostracized even by my extended family, and that's perfectly fine. You know, I don't care. Well, right. I mean, when you wake the fuck up, you find that it's a pretty lonely group, you know. I mean,
when you wake up, you won't be looking back.
No, absolutely not. It's like you've crossed into a new, I don't know.
Dimension.
It's like yeah, exactly. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, and only
reside in the state of Pennsylvania any longer.
Right, and that's ultimately been a lot of the source of my stress and my angst and shit towards everything is the fact that God, I can't be the only one out here that is seeing this shit happen. And I'm glad to know. I mean, that's why I come on these live streams, because I know that there's like-minded people out there. But good God, I mean, you know, I could stand on the local street corner and hold signs and shit, and you know, and I might run into a couple of them, but it's just like, you know, it's uncanny how few and far between. I mean, there's a lot of us that are awake to what's going on, but we're so spread out, it seems like, that
Start
if you
calling some of your high up officials, Steely. You seem to be very knowledgeable and know what the hell's going on. See, I told people in the past, by running out here to these cops that's got a low IQ, and that's why they were chosen,
right,
because they
exactly.
don't ask questions, they just follow orders. And
Right.
you're grabbing that snake by the tail when you're going to get bit.
Oh yeah. Oh
You're
yeah.
going to be beat down in the street, and it's not necessary. Start calling the guys that pulls their strings.
Mhm.
Start calling your attorney general. Start calling your governor, and all of these guys.
So you
And then you're
understand
kind of saving yourself that beat down in the street as well.
I know what when you mentioned that grabbing the snake by the tail. I know where you're coming from with that reference, and I understand what you mean by that.
Go up
Absolutely.
to the head of that snake, and let's take him
Yep.
out the top.
Yep, absolutely. That's it. I mean, I'm all about the First Amendment auditors, but you're right. They are striking at the tail. They're not.
If I was a good video editor, which I'm not, because I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. I only give a shit about sharing truth. But if I was, I've got a lot of recordings that I could throw together in a nice video of some of your top officials, CPS agents, DSS agents, attorney generals, big high-powered attorneys, detectives, sheriffs. I'm not an editor, so.
Right.
I've got hours on top of hours of phone conversations, though, with those big boys and gals that get nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, they'll know just by your communications with them. They'll know you know. They'll know they're doing something wrong by the time you get off the phone with them. I've listened to you now. Just a couple times I've listened to you. You kind of know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the thing what it is I mean the wake up started back
see,
in.
now that you give them notice. Now that you give them notice when their little fuck boys come out here and try to fuck with you, and they bring harm upon you, he had notice of it. He could have stopped it, but he didn't. So his ass is in it too, and he knows that.
Well, I knew man.
If I tell you you're trespassing and violating, and I explain how you're doing it, you now have notice and knowledge. You can't say, "Well, I didn't know." You did know. I told you.
Right.
Don't trespass me. Period. The end.
Right.
You cannot come out of the public into the private. You got to stay in the public on that Constitution, son of a bitch. You don't get to come out into the private without due process of law.
That's another thing too. I mean, I don't really give a shit who's listening to this live stream. I mean, they can say what they want in the chats. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I've always been the outsider anyways, but I can tell you.
I've tried to share information.
Yeah, I can tell you're from the South. Okay, so here's another thing. Everybody thinks that the South was fighting for slavery. I think it was far deeper than that. I think it was far deeper. And I believe, look at what happened after the Civil War. It was the exact point at which our nation went from being the republic that was started in 1776 to being turned over to the corporation of the United States. So,
which they've been hollering for decades now. It's a detriment to our democracy. It's not a democracy, folks.
No.
In a democracy, this is all acceptable. In a democracy, mob rules. Look up the definition.
Oh yeah, 51 over 49, the man will hang. That's a democracy. It's not like that at all. That people think that we're a democracy. No, we're supposed to be a representative republic. But
see,
now
that put me, if David's still on here, that put me on edge with Rudy Giuliani the other day when I heard him call it a democracy. And I'm like, what the hell, man? You're smarter than that. So I catch the little things that come out of their mouth. You pick up on somebody's words. When you've been down them rabbit holes, you pick up on things that most people don't pick up on.
Right.
It was designed that way.
I know that. Oh yeah. That's a lot of the reason why you know, a lot of folks think that most people in the military, especially the old timers that are still serving, they think that you know, they're in on the game. Well, I know guys that are still in and they're still serving, and they are wide awake to what's happening, and they
Oh,
know
yeah.
that there are commanders of large military units that are awake to what's happening, and it's going to get to the point where if the UN does try to force their way in here, if the United States Army won't get on board with forcing vaccines, and the UN does try to force their way in here, it could very well end up being a, you know, combat between non-conforming United States commanders and their rogue units against United Nations forces. It could go that way. We've been down this road before. I mean, it. You
Well,
know,
the
it's
United States has always been the biggest contributor to the United Nations, so I'd hate to think that we don't have some sort of pull. You see what I'm saying? The military.
Yeah. Yep.
And Trump's got a hold of the military. See, I've looked at everything, man. I can't say everything because you know what I mean, but I've been down these roads for a long time trying to figure out the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if it smells like shit, it is shit.
Absolutely, and yeah.
And you try to find a source of that shit to clear that air up, and you just ain't seen. I haven't found it all yet. It's obvious because there's still a whole lot of shit out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. Once you know, the deeper you dig and the more you educate yourself, it almost feels like the more of a divide you put between yourself and the rest of the world, and that's a good thing. And you got to also be prepared to.
It's a lonely world out there.
It is, and you got to be prepared to lose your family, lose your friends, and lose your support network, and because you will be ostracized as the psychopath, and it's just how it's good.
I've been ostracized here enough. Not you know what I'm saying on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
But you know, I always love having conversation with what you just said a minute ago, like-minded people.
Absolutely, it's reassuring to know that we're not alone in this fight. You know,
because generally we don't get to have these intelligent conversations. You know what I mean?
Well, the average person just doesn't do any damn research. They don't. They just take it. You know, they take it at face value. They're given something, and then they're like, okay, well, you know, CNN said it, therefore it must be true. Well, no. I mean, if someone heaps a bunch of food on my plate and throws it in front of me, I mean, I'm the kind of guy to check to make sure it hasn't got shit in it or something first before I eat it. I gotta trust the person. I gotta trust the person who's feeding me before I'll eat their food. Well, most people they don't think about that. They'll just, you know, fuck it. They'll whatever. You know, why would anybody want to?
They don't know nor realize that all of your mainstream media, television, radio, the newspaper is all controlled by 6 corporations.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty scary.
Well, and I read somewhere too that both CNN and Fox News are owned by Rupert Murdoch. I don't know if he bought CNN as well, but the point that I'm trying to get across to people is that we have an illusion of choice. You don't actually get to choose shit. Even every one of the things you buy out at the store, you might see multiple different brands, but what you don't understand is every one of those sub brands belongs to one of 10 major super corporations. You don't, in all those, one of those 10 super corporations, they're all in cahoots with each other. And so you buy something over here and you don't like that, so you go over here. Well, then what you don't realize is you're basically buying from the same damn people. You're basically listening to news from the same damn ultimate source. And you go to the polls and you vote Democrat or you vote Republican. And what you don't know is that both sides of the party, both parties are both wings of the same damn bird. But people can't see the bird. They can only see the wings, you know. And so they think there's a choice.
Is sometime in business, though, they do pick up on that same very principle of thinking you're buying, you know what I'm saying? They push you to the other brands because even in the big box stores, see, I'm into flooring. And, you know, you'll have a brand like, let's just say Armstrong, and they say, well, this is our brand, and this one's $6.58, and you can get this one for $4.98. Same thing, it's just our brand. the markup is so big on that, they end up making more on that product than they do the. You see what I'm getting at? So they
Mhm.
drive you, they guide you to that.
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah.
they're already screwing you buying the name brand, but they're double by pushing you to this cheaper brand.
It's all an illusion. I know.
Yep, it's a numbers game.
It is a numbers game. Absolutely. Oh man, it's just it's so tiring.
Dave back
It's
in
so
here.
tight. I don't know what's going on with everybody, but let's see.
I apologize.
Chat's
My
probably
kids
going
showed
nuts
up
on me.
just as soon as I got on, just as soon as I started the stream. So
Oh, I was like, I thought that the stream had like went off or something, and we had to go click on another link or something.
yeah, I just
Right there.
thought I'd let you guys talk while my kids are making noise.
Oh, well, no, we're railing on. You know, I mean, it.
The tough cuff says follow the money backwards. You got it.
Mhm. And you know, and that's another thing too. 5-speed. When you get to our, I mean, I'm not trying to say that we're like, you know, more intelligent than other people. I think it's just that we've chosen to open our eyes more than others have, and we've chosen to accept what we're seeing more than others have. For example, my uncle. You know, I had this conversation with him, and he's a very intelligent guy, not only educated but intelligent. And I've had this conversation with him before, and he goes. He says, I see what is happening, but I'm not ready to believe it yet. And that right there, I think, explains where most, or not most people, but where a lot of people who are on the fence, where they're sitting. They can see it, but they're not ready to believe their damn eyes. It's like they don't want to, or they like don't want to see. It's almost like they know that the Titanic is going down by the nose, but they don't want to believe that she's going to sink. You know, it's like it just.
You know, the
I guess
biggest
that.
thing with me, Steely,
What's
is
that?
once I gained this knowledge, the freedom, the weight that was lifted off of my shoulders
Mm-hmm.
was unbelievable. You fear it.
Absolutely.
The fear is no longer there. There is no fear.
No. And
So
you
that
don't.
is
You
the
don't. You
only
don't.
thing to fear is fear itself, right?
Absolutely. Well, and that's
And they
another
say
thing
the
that.
truth. They say the truth will set you free. And let me tell you, my friend, that's true.
It is true, and that's
That
the
is
other
true.
thing too. You also stop fearing what people think about you. Everyone's going to think you're crazy.
I never really gave a shit
Everyone's.
what people thought of me anyway.
Well, right, but I mean, there was a time when I was a little hesitant because I'm like, oh man, everyone's going to think I'm crazy. But now I don't give a fuck because I can't contain what I know anymore, and I got to call it for as I see it. And like you were saying, when you smell shit, there's shit.
It's
When it
shit.
walks like a duck, it's a duck. In this society that we're living in today, I mean, we got geese walking around being called ducks. We got ducks being walking around being called geese. Nobody knows what way's up, down, left, or right. We got, you know, men that want to be women and
Parkways
women
is
that want to be
driveways,
men.
driveways is parkways.
Absolutely, but it's like nothing. You know, nobody knows what way is up, down, left, or right anymore. And when that you get that one person who is willing to stand up and be like, "Son of a bitch, like this is how it is," and you call it like you see it, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're crazy, you're crazy." Well, I don't give a shit. It's like in a game of baseball. If an umpire listened to all the people heckling them, the damn game would never go on correctly. You know, the ump would be calling balls strikes and strikes balls, and you know, nothing would ever fucking work. So it's like there comes a point where you have got to take a damn stand and call it for what you see it as, and to hell with what other people are going to think. Let the cards fall where they may, and just understand you're entering a world where you're not going to have a lot of people like you. And fuck it, you know what? I mean, personally, I've never been the guy that was in the in crowd. You know, I've always been the guy that always nobody ever liked me. None of that other shit. I was always the guy that was on the outside. So it's almost like I've been bred from the day I was frickin' born to just, you know, say fuck it and be different anyway. You know, but people can think what they want. They're gonna, you know, you can ignore reality. I'm going to quote Ayn Rand here, I think is who said it, but you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. So no matter
That's
you
right,
think the
because
person's crazy or not, they're going to see it firsthand eventually.
see, the
So-
truth never
Right.
changes. The truth never changes, but the
No.
perception of the truth does.
Absolutely. Well, hell, I'm just
We've
go ahead.
had a lot of people that definitely view us in a different light, right? Because first it was auditors, and then it was ways to make auditors kind of look a certain way or paint them as a certain group. And then it was BLM, paint them as a straight brush. And it's been like this for months and months and a year. So just keep in mind that it's what you feel on the streets, that's real. That sinks in. When you're staring at violence in the streets, now we got issues. Because now you're right, it's real. Now it's in middle America, and then now you're pissed. You're like, now it's in my hometown. They're looking at me weird, and I'm not crazy, but they're gonna put you in a straitjacket, cart you off to their big jail that they just built downtown. And there's nothing weird. It's weird because you realize how powerless you really are in the bricks. It's like you're another brick in the wall, and there's nothing you can. You feel like there's nothing you can do about it, but there is. First, you use your voice. I mean, if we look at anything, the change comes in voice when everyone's collectively together. But if,
That voice is that vibration of that energy. Don't let them house it.
Right.
I got to jump out of here, guys, and get with my little girl. But
All right. Well,
anyway, man, I appreciate everybody. If you guys are still on here a little bit, I'll get back up.
all righty. Well, it's good chatting
later,
with you, sir.
Speed.
Thanks, David. See you, FTP. Everybody in the chat, have a good one. I'll leave you with this real quick before I go. Anybody that understands a little bit about your history, I will say this. When you go up on these guys, always stand on those principles that this country was founded on to the T, and you will prevail.
I think
Freedom is not free, brother.
The minute you get out of honor, you will fail.
Well, right. When the Constitution was drafted, and and this nation started, the caveat to having a republic is that we shall keep it. You have to keep it, meaning it takes work. You have to stand up, because that tightrope of freedom. True freedom is always going to be under assault. And if you lose your voice and you're afraid to stand up and defend it, hell, you're going to lose it.
Right. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to watch my kids. So.
Alrighty. Well, hey, I'll tell you what. I'll probably be getting off here too, because I got to make some phone calls myself. But I'm subscribed there to your channel, and FTP, of course, I'm on your channel. So I guess you guys are on my notifications. So next time you live stream, I'll be able to jump in again. So
that sounds good, man. Have a good day.
Meet you, Dan.
Yeah, it was good to meet you too, guys.
If you ever want to go live when you're on the panel, or you want to shoot out in the parking lot or whatever you're seeing around town, right? And the fact that it looks like a community of just colorful, everybody's covered up, and it looks like it's a mess. So
yeah,
let's just hope it turns itself around. But you're always welcome on the panels. Look, I know you heard about me, right? Or you came onto the panel, but the bottom line is there's a lot of us. And so you have to grab names out of the chat, you write them down, make sure you're lowercase capitalizing, and just keep searching up new people and keep promoting those people. Eric Brandt's huge.
right.
Just everybody in general is really good people. They're going through a lot of hard times. They do Some are just, they don't do panels. Others they do.
Mm-hmm.
You'll catch a few of them where they'll let you talk. Some won't. Some are going to be rude. Some are going to be disrespectful. Don't try not to dox yourself. Try not to dox your name. Try not to dox any personal information about yourself.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Give it out. Keep it close. If you want to share your email with somebody, do so at your own risk. Be advised that they'll send you things or whatever in the email, and sometimes that can be unpleasant. If you give someone your address, random packages will show up at your door. So just keep.
Oh yeah, no, I'd never give anybody my address. I think I threw my phone number out there in a stream for you, FTP, that one time if you wanted to call me or whatever. But because I know you're local here, but I think that's all I've ever done. But yeah, no, I would never give anybody my home address. That's crazy.
In the future, if you if you want to put your phone number somewhere, put it. I don't know if I ever took it down or what I did.
Okay,
if you send it to my email address, then that'll be fine. But then just keep in mind that I have your email address, and
yep,
it's not that important. We are close, but when we get to that point where if you need something or you need help or you need backup or you start auditing or filming, and look, I'm totally with you. If you said I'm going to go audit whatever, I would probably be right beside you. But just know that when it goes sideways, somebody's got to be there with the bail money, you know?
Well, yeah, no, I feel you.
It hurts, and I don't want to get you in trouble in any way, shape, or form and get you to go outside your comfort zone.
Well, yeah.
There's a way to make change, and then there's a not way to make change. And I'm just trying to do it as smart as I can, but then at the same time, I'm just trying to keep me and mine and my family safe.
That's true. Absolutely.
And tell you how to, keep yours safe, and sometimes you get in the panic mode. So just take a couple deep breaths and just relax, because these people they're crazy online.
Mm-hmm.
They're crazy in the stores.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really comes down to just go to the streams that are being nice, kind, and giving you good information and what you feel is the most important, and don't get caught up in the drama of things.
Yeah.
I've been in it for 2 years, and you can see to where my channel's just, it gets old after a while, 2 years doing this. I don't mind, but once I don't make any progress or I'm going in reverse, but I'm glad you've been watching. It's just, I keep dealing with other people, other streams, getting caught up in the drama. And I love that you came on, and I love that you're over here. And it's such a small channel that you'll get that one-on-one experience, and that way you don't have to deal with the negative comments, the bad comments, the doxing, some of my people are over here. They all came over when I threw that link in, but have a good day, and we'll get back with you here.
All right, man. Sounds good. Take care.
All right. Peace out.
All right. Bye.